That day I pulled out a $10 bill and handed it to the homeless man on the street corner. I expected a thank you, but his eyes locked onto my wallet. Suddenly he lunged at me, trying to snatch it. In the struggle, I shoved him hard. He staggered and fell to the ground, and my little life-saving pill bottle slipped from my pocket. The homeless man stared blankly, then raised his foot and crushed the pills under his heel before turning and disappearing from sight. I dropped to my knees desperately, gathering the broken fragment. My lungs won't last much longer, the doctor said. My lungs are like dried-up sponges, each breath laced with sharp stinging pain. No flying, no long trips, just pills keeping me alive. But today, even these broken crumbs will have to. Thanksgiving is just around the corner. The kids said they were coming home for the holiday. I woke up at 5 a.m., even though I usually live frugal. This time I splurged the most expensive steak at the supermarket. A bottle of wine with a 4-digit price tag even gritted my teeth, and bought a $5,000 grill. When everything was finally ready, the calls started coming in one after another. My youngest son mumbled something about work, stress keeping him away. I joked, "Guess you won't get to taste that expensive wine then." I checked the voicemail and my heart sank completely. Neither of my daughters could make it. Atone had a last-minute business trip. The other was too swamped with work. Finally, word came that my eldest son wouldn't be coming either. The long-awaited family dinner ended with just me at the table. It's been 8 months since my wife passed away. After the funeral, the kids never came back home. Staring at my tired reflection in the mirror, I made a decision. If they couldn't come to me, I'd go to them. A spontaneous trip to see how they're really doing. But the doctor warned me my lungs are in terrible shape. A long trip could kill me at any moment. I didn't care. I set off anyway, my journey to see my children. First stop, New York. On the train, I couldn't help bragging to the passenger beside me. My eldest son is a painter. His work hangs in the most prominent spot in the gallery. Talking about their achievements filled me with pride. I used to be a cable insulator. Spent 30 years coating 300,000 meter wire. I always believed it was my hard work that shaped my children into who they are today. When I rang the doorbell at my eldest son's apartment, no one answered. I waited in the cold wind until late at night before finally slipping the letter I prepared through the mail slot and turning to leave. Passing by an art gallery on my way back, I suddenly spotted one of his paintings displayed in the window. The sight sent me spiraling back to a conversation we'd had years ago.
What are you gonna do when you grow up, huh?
I want to be a painter and do my pictures.
Not a painter. Christ, painters paint walls and dogs pee on walls. You're gonna be an artist. Artists paint pictures that change people's lives. So what are you gonna be?
An artist.
That's right, an artist. So you're gonna work hard?
Yes, Dad.
I arrived at my eldest daughter, Amy's house, the corporate executive who married a wealthy man. Their sprawling estate boasted manicured gardens and a glittering pool, a picture of perfect happiness. Standing at the Rodian gate, I cupped my hands around my mouth and called out the way I used to when she was little.
Amy!
Dad?
My daughter didn't seem particularly pleased by my unexpected visit. A faint crease of worry lingered between her brows as she alternated between polite small talk and urgent phone calls. At dinner, my son-in-law rushed home and the couple put on a show of perfect harmony in front of me. But the tension between my grandson and his father was palpable. Sharp words exchanged like daggers, leaving my daughter caught in the middle, visibly uncomfortable. I'd hoped to stay with him a few more days, but Amy kept finding reasons to decline work demands, the children's studies, one excuse after another. I didn't press further and decided to move on to my next stop. The next morning, before leaving, I asked to take a family photo. My grandson refused to stand next to his father, and his forced smiles looked more like grimaces. Watching them, my heart ached. Finally, I couldn't hold back any longer.
You happy?
What do you mean?
You happy?
Yeah, of course I am.
I left another letter behind and walked away. My next stop was the orchestra where my youngest son Robert worked. Standing outside the theater, I proudly pointed to the conductor on the poster and asked a passerby to take my picture in front of it. Then dragging my suitcase behind me, I headed straight for the rehearsal hall. When my son spotted me in the audience, his face froze mid. I wanted to stay and watch my son's performance. But Robert said the next show was scheduled in Europe and he didn't have time for me, with no other choice. I had to say goodbye to my son. Unnoticed, he left that letter on the drum. When I arrived at the station, my youngest daughter Lucy had been waiting for me for a long time. She was still that adorable little girl, but her lifestyle seemed as lavish as her older sister's. The car that picked me up was a stretched Lincoln limousine, and we stayed in a high-end apartment in the city center. Just as Lucy was showing me around, a neighbor suddenly knocked on the door. She claimed she had an urgent matter to attend to and asked Lucy to babysit for her. That night I took the last bit of powdered medicine I had left. Just then the phone in the study kept ringing incessant. By chance I overheard the voicemail.
It's me. Look, I need the apartment back sooner than I thought.
parents are coming.
That was when I realized the apartment wasn't my daughter's. Not wanting to trouble Lucy any further, I decided to go home first thing in the morning. I also gave Lucy a letter. Due to the shortage of medication, I had no choice but to risk flying home. Unexpectedly, the plane encountered a thunderstorm mid-flight. My old illness flared up and I collapsed unconscious in the restroom. During that time, I had a long dream. Granted, the children were still their younger selves. They told me, "We're doing just fine," but I already knew it wasn't true. When I opened my eyes, I saw 3 of them gathered around my hospital bed, but my eldest son, David, was still missing. Under my relentless questioning, they finally revealed the truth. David had faced too many hardships over this. He hadn't been happy, and after their mother passed away, his grief only deepened. In the end, he chose to leave this world. I never imagined that my high expectations for him would become the slow poison of his life. Christmas soon arrived once again. I went to the supermarket to shop. Only this time, all the children came home as they'd promised.